first started to notice issues with my filler 2016, 2017, and I had under eye filler. My bags weren't too bad, but they were there. Every few months, I would just ask for a little bit more and a little bit more. And then cut to 2018, and I had some friends over and we took a photo, and it's when I first noticed an issue with my under eyes. And so I coined it the white worm, but especially on this side, I just had this really raised bump. That's when I was thinking, could it be my filler? Instead of dissolving it, because at that time I wasn't sure if it was a thing, and I thought maybe it was just my ligament or something, and so I just started filling more above it, and then eventually it started creating a dimple here, and so I was filling even more below it. And I started to notice the last time I had filler in 2023, so about 2 years ago, I noticed that it was starting to make it worse. And it wasn't going away on its own. I gave myself like a several year gap to see if it would dissolve. And since it wasn't going away, I figured, well, it can't be filler, it's just my face. I decided just to see with the doctor who does my filler at my last appointment. I just said, hey, I can't tell if I'm having an issue with filler here or if it's just my face. And so he said, well, let's just try a little dot of dissolver. We'll just try a little bit just to see if it attacks it. And so he injected right into the raised lump that I had. Sure enough, we gave it a couple of weeks and I went back and it was still there. The white worm was there, but then all around it had dissolved. And so at that time we just concluded, okay, well, it is just my ligament. I started doing more research and found out that there was actually dissolving that you could do with ultrasound. I found it can actually target it. So sometimes I think it's very possible when I was just doing it with my doctor that he just maybe did it too superficially, but they said you can actually target it. And I was so afraid of using too much dissolver and all of that. So I figured if I'm going to dissolve, I would like to do it with targeted ultrasound. And ultrasound is just so easy and it's not scary as some people may think it is. It actually, to me, made me feel so much safer because Dr. Shadin allows you to hold a mirror while she's actually using the ultrasound, and so that way you could see the screen yourself. And so you actually get to see the pockets of filler, and if you're brave enough, you can also watch while she injects, and then you can see it on the screen. It's so targeted, and so I didn't feel like we were over dissolving. She will continue to check back to see if there's any bubbles that are occurring, and that shows her that it's still dissolving. It's just really fascinating, and so you can really see it yourself. It was amazing because she checks in with you as she's doing it, lets you look, lets you observe if you want to continue and do more or if you want to stop. I looked in the mirror and I smiled and the white worm was gone. I literally cried. I was just so happy. I thought it was just my face and I was gonna have to live with it, and so I've just been so happy with the results. Really impacted my life positively, where now it's funny because every time I go into the mirror I just smile because I just want to see like the worm's really gone, and so it just makes me so happy to do that. I was finding when I was laughing and smiling, I was raising my hand in front of my face, and really it was to cover the worm, and but I would do it kind of like hee hee hee, but so it made me just so happy to smile again. Any piece of advice that I would give to somebody who's considering dissolving but maybe has hesitation because they're afraid or they're just not sure of the outcome, I cannot recommend more to do it. I probably was one of the most afraid, cautious people. I had done so much research on it, and there's so much information online that maybe will scare you, but I mean, as somebody who probably was the most fearful of dissolving of anybody I can think of, I am just so happy that I did it, because all of those fears really just vanished as soon as I saw the results. And I actually feel the results. I feel like my airway passages are cleaner. Every day, like all day, my eyes would just feel tired and I just didn't understand why. And now that it's gone, my eyes don't feel like that. Like I feel awake. It's really incredible. I say, do not hesitate. It's to me and all the research I've done, the safest and smartest way to dissolve your filler.